Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Soulfully Guided. I'm your host, Carmel-Anne. As always, a huge shout out to A1R Psychic Radio, Moonstruck TV, and all our viewers and anyone watching in, whether it be the replay or who's here live. So, wanted to wish last week we wished everyone a Merry Christmas, and this week I'd love to wish you a Happy New Year. Got such a good feeling about 2024, and it's not so much about gaining things, it's more about letting go of things and sort of, I don't know, it's like all this hard work that's been done, healing or growing or learning about yourself and learning about boundaries and putting all these things in place to improve our life. I just feel like 2024 is wrapping things up and letting things go. And it's not about, like I said, gaining things. It's more about letting go of things and finding yourself and being you. So I really hope that for everyone, because I really feel strongly that this is a good year for me, and I would love that for everyone else. Now, what we're going to do is as well, always, if I haven't, thank you to another year with A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, to our network staff, to our co-host and everyone that's involved, regardless of what side of the fence you're on. A huge thank you. I've really evolved as a person, and my confidence, I could not have gotten here without you, really. You're a big component of my courage and my confidence and presenting week by week, and also being there for me on those days that I really struggled emotionally this year. So thank you for supporting me, playing replays, having my back between shows to make sure I was okay. And with this series that we've got going on, if you haven't watched, please tune in to last week's replay, which if you're in the USA would have been the 20th of December. You're welcome to, I tend to watch them. If I watch a replay, it will be on, not that I get the chance to do that often, but and I don't like watching myself, but I Google Soulfully Guided, 20th of December, and you'll be able to see last week's show. So if you haven't tuned in, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, we've been doing a gifted children series. So we're trying to bring awareness about what it's like to be a gifted child, and also to provide support to a parent or a guardian or anyone that has a gifted child around them, to be able to support them in any way they feel that they can, or just let the child be heard, seen, acknowledged. And like a lot of us that are gifted, to not sort of identify ourselves in just a too weird box, or, to live life and enjoy childhood. So last week I tried to sum up my whole astral travel experience in 15 minutes, which didn't work. So our wonderful producer, Dave, if you can let me know how I'm going today with time, because yay, I've come in today again and I haven't thought about what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say it. Not quite developed there as a host yet to be able to just speak things naturally. I like to think them out first, not that proves me for any errors or nervousness, but I like to come prepared or with the notes, as you've probably noticed on my show. So we are evolving and I'm here today telling you how it is without putting much thought into it, but a lot of heart. So what happened was, when I'm not a dates person, but I would say I was about 8. I was in primary school, old enough to know what I was doing was not normal, and old enough to question, is this real? So I said that I was coming to you last week, not as an expert of astral travel, but as a child who experienced it, and just to get the idea of what could be going on under the surface for a child. So we were watching a family movie. We were all there, my family of 4, and we rarely went out as a family. So it was a really special event. And while I was watching a movie, I felt like my soul, which I didn't have the words back then to explain what was going on, and I was more scared than anything. Like, if I did this today, I would be in awe and wild and just in my complete ultimate happy place. But My soul left my body, in a way I could describe it, in a way that you would see a passed over person as a medium would see it. So it's kind of like translucent, or transparent, but you could make me out. So I was physiologically in the movie, but all of a sudden, a part of me just left and was in the car park watching, which was really, it was a crappy car. It meant nothing to us, but I watched some people, two guys from the car park while my body was in the movie. I watched them robbing our car, or while breaking into our car, not actually robbing it. So I have to use my words right because it's all jumbling my mind. But so to me, as a young child, that was our property. That was a violation of our belongings. And what was happening is I was in the movie, and I told my mum multiple ways that I could try and escape being in the cinemas. And I was saying, how can you not see what they're doing? Our car is getting robbed. And she's like, calm down, it's okay, nothing's happening, the car's safe in the car park. I'm like, what is wrong with you? How can you not see this? And I witnessed our car get broken into, and I was kind of narrating what was going on, but at the same time, I could physiologically move my body and completely, um, I was completely present in both areas. Um, in spirit, or however, like an expert would like to say it, because I'm no expert of astral travel. This is the first and last time I did it. I would love to do it again, but I'm not there yet. So I told my mum, please let's go to the car park. And she refused. She said, we're watching a movie. Let's just calm down and, relax. So I tried to say I was going to the restroom and tried to escape to catch these criminals in action. Like, what was I going to do anyway? It was more like a violation of our property and actually, our belongings, and actually seeing the whole thing go on. And so sneaking out of the movies didn't work because obviously mum knew what I was going to do. Was, she was ahead of my game. And I wonder what it would have been like for my parents to experience this, or especially my mum. And sadly, I can't ask. My mum passed away when I was 16. But so the movie, when it finally finished, like I even saw that he got his, I think it was the left speaker from the stereo system that wouldn't come out, and one of the man's necklaces got caught in the speaker, and he didn't realize, and there was an engraving on it with the letter J, and not sure if it was a full name, but I remember J. And I was telling my mum all this. So when we got to the car, I was like, what? I was baffled, like, what is wrong with these people? How can they not see? I couldn't determine between what was real and what was not. It was all real to me, even though I knew it was abnormal what was going on. And I sort of detached and astral traveled without trying, and then somehow I became one again without trying. So it was kind of stressful. And as soon as we left the cinema, I bolted, like I ran ahead to get to the car. And so as it turned out, the car had been broken into, and there was the chain there, but we did call the police. And you can imagine how bizarre it would have been, mum trying to say, or mum and dad trying to say they were watching a movie when our car got broken into, and there's this little 8-year-old me or 7-year-old me trying to tell the police, this is what they look like, this is what they did, this is how they got into the car, and then this, if you look under the speaker in this section of the, on this side, you'll see he's left a necklace, a gold one with a J. And I had no idea, like, looking back at, wow, I wish I could do that. But could you imagine if a child has no idea that these sort of things exist, that these are gifts, or that this is, things that adults strive really deeply to get to this point of gift set and being evolved, but to a child it's an innocent, natural thing. So my mum had to stop me from telling the police what had actually happened It was too bizarre now. Sadly, I never spoke to my parents about this. It's not the only thing that happened. I would have loved to have had those conversations with my parents as adults. Sadly, for me, that's not possible. So maybe for you and your children or your loved ones or someone you know that is gifted, rather than force them to be gifted or more gifted, but to be comfortable with themselves and understand what they're going through. And you don't need to understand it for them, so long as they can share with you what's going on. I never got to have those conversations, and it was very bizarre experience being able to see everything through a movie and being in two spots at the one time. I know nothing about astral travel. I've never explored it. I only probably between the last 5 to 8 years was able to piece, well, maybe that's what I did. I'm trying to find an expert to come on to have a chat with us to see how it happens, because it was a little innocent act of astral travel that came natural to me as a child, which I could never redo as an adult. Not that I've hugely tried, but to try and explain that to an adult and to have that conversation and to know how to handle it, it's not part of your everyday kind of parenting, and we don't really know how to do that. And sometimes I still don't know how to approach things that my children come to me with that show hints of being gifted. So part of this series is basically looking at some things that we've done, as whether it be other hosts or myself or other professionals that come in, or even people that just want to come on the show and talk about it. If they were a child or they have a child, you're all welcome. We have the question series coming up as well, but it's really to gain awareness and insight, because even talking to Stephanie, and we'll have Vanessa coming in the new year, learning how it was for them opens up a plethora of opportunity, and it's just incredible. So please stay tuned and watch us through the Gifted Children series. That's my experience of astral travel. If you know anything about astral travel that can give us some insight, we would love that. But for now, we'll see you next week, and have a lovely new year. Bye, everyone.